In listening to one another, we become very quiet, very calm, very considerate, very attentive, and we acknowledge any thoughts, any impressions, any feelings, any statements presented to us. We can do this in our business life, in our home life, in our love life, if we learn to simply listen without reacting, without having the other person feel the reactions in your mind, your thoughts, your emotions. This is training. This is why the monks I live with in Tibet and so on were like so quiet and so pure. In the midst of utter hell, pure, egregious violence in a sense we cannot imagine. And they lived through it. And they haven't changed since then. I know when I came back for the 5 months after that, every time I'd fall off to sleep, I'd kind of dream of, see all the monks on their bicycles, or Frida Bedi, the nun, and still thinking of one another, still in that same place. It's called eternity, heaven, the pure land in Buddhism. And it's a place we arrive at by not reacting to the world. That's all meditation is. You have a thought, a feeling, you acknowledge it in the most quiet way. You first train yourself to be interested in the space you're at, in the world. It's a quiet, calm, emotional sense. It's serene, pure, decent, true, courageous. It's all those things in a whisper. And if you get truly, truly quiet, you'll see Him. If you get even more quiet, you'll become that always was and is. And that's why it won't be too difficult for the upright, the decent, the kind in this world to arrive at a place beyond this world in the near future. Because there is no time or place or circumstance, and that's what meditation teaches us. We quietly acknowledge everything we think, everything we feel, everything we experience with any of our sensory equipment. And we see it and we acknowledge it. I see that, I see that. And this is a very quiet emotion within ourselves, right? If you're going to be a champion like my buddy Greg here, or you have to be in that place. And it's not about a champion in anything other than life. As Greg teaches his students, you have to be very quiet, very calm, very attentive. And you will arrive at a purity, a decency. And within it there is, you'll unlock eternity itself. The whispers from heaven will proceed forth out of your mouth and your eyes, and you'll overcome the whole world without half trying, because you won't be interested in the world. You won't be interested in other than this. And when you're truly interested in it, even this will disappear. It's called Nirvana. It's called you. Isn't it you? Isn't that your wish, your hope, your desire? Remove all the pain, all the transitions between circumstances, and get ready for the next thing. It just, boom. If your college teacher listened to you and you listened to a college teacher, your education will be done in a month. And you get all A's easily. You got your short-term memory, your long-term memory, whatever. But if you listen and you acknowledge, if you present your thoughts clearly to your friends, your loved ones, your teachers, your students, your family, those you do commerce with. I know I get more beautiful hellos and hugs and kisses from people just wherever in the places in the area that I'll move through in any day at work here, and be very loved because I don't react to anything. If something's going on, a circumstance, you don't react to it. If you help, you help. If not, not. The point is, if you're quiet within yourself, trained to be quiet, you don't react. and you stay in the Pure Land. The Pure Land is your soul. It's not mine or his or hers, it's your soul. And when you're there, everything just is. In a very wonderful sense. It's very calm, it's the quiet you'd have around an infant sleeping. It just is. And to you, the infant sleeping will be Almighty, everlasting, infinite God, our Father, our friend, our self, and our soul. There is a soul. We are a soul. We're not a memory bank. We're not a reactive person. We're not violent or peaceful. We just simply reside in the Pure Land. In the land of grace, decency, and wonder. And you'll move to whatever your daily duties are in life with great acumen. You'll be the best at whatever you do, but you'll be invisible. You won't brag, and you'll be very normal. You'll deal with everyone around you because your sensibilities are so exquisitely tuned to everything around you that you'll make best friends with most people. And those that aren't most people are the devils among us, and there are many of them, and if you give them nothing, they will fail. And they'll have no one to fight and be very confused. If you seek to confuse, you'll be confused. If you seek to murder, you will be murdered at your own hand, not his, not ours. There is a quiet place in the heart and soul. And from that place, the heavens open. What you have to do, you'll do. Quietly, effectively, purely, most of all, humanly. Something interrupts your work, you react, you don't fall apart, you quietly deal with it. It's been called illumination, Nirvana, the divine vision, whatever. There's so many words for it. Enlightenment, it's a calm state of being. And when you're in that state, forget science, forget experts, forget school, forget even family. You made that transition to the Pure Land, the real you, the eternal you. And that's why the spiritual people you know in your life are living in a place beyond everything that seems to be. They're the only ones that are not overcome by the circumstance in the world. Support such a one. Your prayers, your hopes, your dreams. And don't ask them about the daily travail, this circumstance or that circumstance. Don't ask them more than the gift of peace, of quiet. And when you're there, you'll see how this whole thing ends. It'll end with a quiet word, a hug, a sweetness. All the adept in the world, the spiritually adept, understand this, that a world system is a place that never really was. It's an illusion set up by some infinitesimal dark force, and it need not be. You're not going to fix it socially or politically, but you'll fix your family in the midst of this, and you'll fix those you love and care for and the decent among us. You'll feel this during the evening hours, late at night, when you have these wonderful visitations of past grandmom or a lost love, and everything will heal. We know what's being said right now. and the egregious nature of this world system that truly is horrible and vile and violent, if we get that it's an illusion, it's a force set upon us by an insane factor of the universe called Satan, the devil, Mephistopheles, if you understand that and don't give it anything, like my monk friends did, you can live through anything. Anything. Because you'll see that the heavenly light that's shed from above is your true self and soul. And the heavens will reside in you, through you, with you, always. They always have. Set some time daily aside from walking away from all this in your sensibilities and wait for the visit. Leave a lot of room. Begin by quietly not reacting to anything, by being simply interested. It's a sense. It's like your dog might have, very, very highly trained dog, and it'd be completely calm and quiet until the actual moment that something is required. You know what's being said, and there's no reason we can't be that way. It's a spiritual warriorship. I don't like to use those words. I'm around martial artists every day. It's not about fighting whatsoever. It's whatever experience you have where people work together. I've worked with a number of different spiritual communities, and every time there was hard, heavy labor to be done, these would be little sweet people that were simply worshipers of some particular spiritual community, and when something was needed to be done, it was like one person. And you get 3 or 4 or 6 different people lifting a ton of equipment and moving bookcases and so forth that would take workmen, like my buddies here, to move, but it was done with a kind of an ease because your souls were of one accord. Your soul is now of one accord. Walk away from the beast that speaks, writes, and talks, and threatens, and accuses, and violates. Walk away from it by simply not acknowledging it. It will disappear from your faculties. These are not just words. It's called meditation. Ruminate upon these words and think about them, digest them, feel them, and it's a very quiet process. It's true heroism. It's a true you. And you don't forsake those you love. You'll get very pure and you will reach out through the living ethers and heal your friends, your loved ones, your mom, your dad. And you understand the trouble that everyone in the world has had because we're all the same person. And we're quiet, we'll know that. And we know that, we'll know God. And we know God, this won't be here anymore. This isn't a fabrication or silliness. This is how this will fold up. Everything is in perception. Nothing is real, as it were, except the human heart, where God resides with your mom, your dad, and your puppy, and your lost love, and your found love. Everything that offends your sound senses is the dark force. Simply be quiet, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it in the softest way. Okay, that's, got it, got it, got it. Make sense? Because the whole world to the spiritually adept does not exist. It is not here. We look through it. If you're spiritual, these words are, that's it. You don't need to hear anything else. This is just a gentle reminder from a friend to a friend. There is a God, there is a soul, you are the soul. You are the soul of God. God is your soul. You'll clean up the streets, the neighborhood, the family circumstance, your finances, with an intent of purity, of stepping right through the madness. And when you step through, you'll have daily visions and visitations and wonders and miracles. Different times in my life, because it's not meant. If I were helping people with their physical stuff all the time, then they'd be known as that. It's not what I want to be understood for. I just want to care that deeply enough, that powerfully enough, that all of a sudden, that amount of care invokes the very presence of the holiness of the universe. There is such a person. There is a God. You're God's fingertips in the world. You're not separate from God, a trillionth of a sense. You are that here. So overcoming your conditioning from birth till now simply involves sitting quietly, no matter what comes at you, whatever you think, whatever you have to do. If there are present time things you have to do, you do them, then you come back here. And you can do this while you're doing. And very quietly perceive, acknowledge what's happening. And then through this, it's not the everyday details in the world. Through this, a divine presence will appear and things will get done in a way and fold up and fold together and work out for you in a way that will make a lot of sense. And when it first starts happening, the first 2 or 3 weeks, oh, you got it. And then when you see these horrible things come at you, these horrible forces, it always takes about 3-4 months in the beginning when you're really determined to take on the whole thing and end it. And that's what illumination is. It isn't you being happy and enlightened to disappear and leave the world behind. What kind of person would think that? Woo. You'll take it all with you. In other words, all the good people, they will disappear with you back into the light from whence we are, from whither we come. There is a lightness to spirituality. There really is. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Greg.